Welcome in, ladies and gentlemen, here back at Lawrence Dumont Stadium. Matt Kinney here with you for Dodge City Community College Conquistador Baseball. Today, Dodge City will take on Kansas City, Kansas in an elimination game, officially Game 6 here at the NJCAA Region 6 Central District Tournament. So, last night, Dodge City 7-3 losers against Johnson County. They move on to the winner's bracket. One game already here in the books today at Lawrence Dumont Stadium, as Fort Scott is able to hold on, eliminate Barton from this tournament. They will now move on to an elimination game tomorrow at 1 p.m. So, Dodge City and Kansas City, Kansas here. Winner will move on. Loser goes home and sees their season come to an end. Coaches meeting taking place as we speak, and we are just moments away from first pitch as Blue Devils are the designated home team today. They will occupy the third base dugout, and Dodge City will be in the first base dugout. Run down some lineups here for you quick before we start this game. Start with Kansas City, Kansas out in the field. They'll be leading off with Albert Woodard, shortstop. Batting second will be number 26, center fielder Tyler Pittman. Hitting third for the Blue Devils will be the first baseman, number 5, Alex Phillips, left-hander. As batting cleanup will be the Blue Devil designated hitter, number 13, Rory Combs. Batting fifth will be right fielder, number 20, Chase Reddick. Easton Fortuna, Blue Devil second baseman, will bat sixth. Hitting seventh will be left fielder, number 14, Josh Schumacher. Hitting eighth will be third baseman, Brandon Green. And then batting ninth will be the catcher, Drew Holtgreave. On the mound for Kansas City, Kansas today, left-handed pitcher number 31, Shea Stevens. He comes into today's game with a 6-4 overall record and a 3.76 ERA. So, as we get started here, like I said, just moments away as you are looking live at Lawrence Dumont Stadium here in downtown Wichita, Kansas. Conquistadors are going to mix their lineup up just a little bit from last night. Head coach Phil Stevenson trying to play a bit of a matchup here, facing a left-handed pitcher. Started off at the top of the lineup there, some familiar faces. Started off with left fielder Cade Engel. Freshman there hitting .390 on the year. We'll then have second baseman Braden Cook hitting second. Jake Peterson in the 3-hole. He will be your center fielder today. Batting cleanup for the Conquistadors will be first baseman Talon Schaller, making his 58th start of the year. Only player on this team to start all 58 games this year. Batting fifth will be Dawson Tate. He'll take over duties at third base today after catching last night. Richard Fullerton will be batting sixth, playing right field. Bit of a change at designated hitter today as Coach Stevenson elects to go with right-handed freshman Isaac Snyder in that role. As we move down the line here, batting eighth will be Robert Perea behind the plate, and Cole Bergdahl will round things out at shortstop. On the mound for the Dodge City Community College Conquistadors will be sophomore Cole Brandon. Comes into today's game with a 6-3 overall record, 4.55 ERA. And as we got our sheet here, Cole Brandon's been able to really move up some career charts here. The sophomore does have 109 strikeouts in his career, just 13 away from the career record here at Dodge City. Needs 12 to move into second. With 9 wins, that's the 8th best here in a career at Dodge City. So Cole Brandon really looking to kind of move up the charts here. If he can find a way to get deep into this game, he will take over as the official career innings pitched leader here at Dodge City. He is currently sitting in third, and he is only 8 1/3 innings away from the record for that. So we are ready to play baseball on a 73-degree day here at Lawrence Dumont Stadium. 1 o'clock pitch. We're on time as Fort Scott and Barton got done pretty quick there. We're able to get us going on time. There's a bit of a rally by Barton at the end of the game, but Fort Scott is able to hold on and eliminate the Cougars. So first pitch getting ready here as left fielder Cade Engel will step into the box. Engel comes into this at-bat with a .390 batting average as Steven with the first pitch. And Cade Engel's going to foul that one away out of play into the children's playground down there in the first base line. Dimensions here at Lawrence Dumont, you got 330 down the lines, 385 in the power alleys, and then 400 to dead center. Wind blowing a little bit from right to left today at about 15 miles an hour as Engel takes ball one there. low. So 1-1 count here early on. Just started getting underway here at Lawrence Dumont Stadium as Stevens with the 1-1 delivery and Engel swings through for a strike. So now down 1-2 in the count. As Stevens working from the windup, and Engel's going to pop one over the second baseman's head, and that's going to get down for the first base hit of the ball game. And that is the second leadoff hit Engel has in this tournament. Now, last night he was able to lead things off for the Conquistadors with a double, able to move over to third on a misplay by the right fielder of Johnson County. Comes around to score. Again, Dodge City does lose that game last night 7-3, and that's why they're sitting here playing today at 1 o'clock in the afternoon instead of a 7 o'clock winner's bracket game. So into the box will step Braden Cook, second baseman for Dodge City, hitting .369 on the year. As Stevens takes a look over at Engel at first, throws over, but Engel doesn't have much of a lead there, not really looking to steal here early going in the game. Like to take this time as Stevens throws first pitch in there to Cook, who tries to lay down a bunt, gets it just foul down the third base line. Want to give a shout out to the radio production department, John Avey especially, for helping us out, getting us the equipment we needed this weekend to bring you Conquistador Baseball live here on YouTube. Streaming for all you folks there unable to make it out here to the ballpark. Had a beautiful day last night. Couldn't ask for better weather. Today's just about the same. Not a cloud in the sky, 74-degree day, and just absolutely wonderful weather we've had here for the first 2 days at Lawrence Dumont. Steven takes a look over at Engel with the pitch as Cook fouls it back behind the plate, out of play. So now quickly in an 0-2 hole, tries getting that first pitch down for a bunt, fouls it away. So now he's going to have to try to protect here, see if he can maybe pop something through and get Engel over to second. Stevens really worried about Engel over there, throws over again as Engel really isn't much of a threat to steal on the year. Conquistadors as a team have not stolen a lot of bases, but as Stevens fires a pitch in there past the swinging Cook for a strikeout, and there's one out here now in the top of the first. That will bring up center fielder for Dodge City, Jake Peterson. Peterson hitting .341 on the year. As left-hander steps into the box here, getting ready to take his first look at the left-hander in Stevens. Stevens with another throw over to first. Engel in there back pretty easily. Again, not taking much of a lead off here. Not going to risk much with one out early going. Phil Stevenson hasn't done a whole lot on the base paths this year with his team. Hasn't had a whole lot of speed to work with, though, either. So, Stevens with the first pitch to Peterson. Misses low outside for a ball. As Peterson last night goes 1 for 4 with a walk and 1 strikeout. As Dodge City 7-4 losers last night. We're here playing today, trying to keep the season alive. Comes into today's game with a 38-18-1 record as Stevens puts ball 2 in there down low. So now Peterson working with the hitter's count in 2-0. Runner over there on first in Cade Engel. As Stevens with the pitch, takes a little off of that one, gets Peterson to swing through, and quickly now a 2-1 count, able to kind of fight back his way in there after falling behind 2-0 on Peterson. And there goes Engel. Hit and run was on as Peterson fouls that one away. Just does get a piece of it to protect there with Engel trying to take second and see if the hit and run would go through there. Outfielders are playing at regular depth. So if you can get one in the gaps here, you're probably going to be looking at extra bases for Peterson. And Engel with his speed, as long as you can make sure it drops first, he could very well score on a base hit in the gap. Stevens with the delivery and just a little chopper to the first baseman. First baseman there, Phillips, decides he does not have time to make the play on Engel at second, takes the for sure out at first, and there are now 2 away for cleanup hitter Talon Schaller.
The first baseman, number 37, Talon Schaller.
Schaller steps into the box here, .352 batting average. Had a bit of a rough day yesterday, not able to do a whole lot. Dodge City as a whole really wasn't getting a whole lot going. Left 12 runners on base, just couldn't come up with the big timely hit. Schaller takes first pitch in for a ball, so 1-0 count here for the big sophomore from Lakewood, Colorado. And Stevens takes a quick look at Engel and gets Schaller to swing through on an off-speed pitch there. Schaller found one he liked, just unable to get a bat on it there, and now evens the count at 1-1. Just underway here, top of the first inning, 2 outs with Cade Engel on second. He's on with a lead-off single, moved over to second on a ground out by Peterson, and we now have Schaller up to bat here with the 1-1 count. Wind blowing right to left here at Lawrence Dumont, which is going to favor the right-handed batters today, as Stevens able to blow a second one there past the swinging Schaller, and now 1-2 hole for Schaller. He's going to have to try and protect and see if he can avoid a second strikeout for Stevens in this inning. Stevens takes another quick look. Schaller with a check swing. Doesn't go. Appeal down to first base. First base umpire says no swing. And now 2-2 count. So 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs here with a runner on second. We got a lot of 2s here in the top of the first. Stevens not so worried this time about that runner at second. Ball down low. Good block by Holtgreave to make sure that stays in front of him, as Engel had a good secondary jump, but with the ball staying out in front of Holtgreave, not much you can do there trying to take third. And now the count is full, 3-2 to Talon Schaller. You got to wonder what maybe Stevens will come back with here, knowing that Schaller does have a little bit of pop in his bat, but does tend to chase the breaking ball. Stevens with the delivery, down low, ball 4, and now Dodge City will have runners on first and second with 2 outs, and that will bring up freshman Dawson Tate.
The third baseman, number 13, Dawson Tate.
Dawson Tate, a 5'7", 170-pound utility freshman from Pueblo, Colorado. After catching last night, gets moved over to third here today as Coach Phil Stevenson elects to change the lineup up a bit and play a bit of a matchup here, as he wasn't sure who Kansas was going to throw going into this morning. But Tate with a first pitch swinging, and that's going to get over the head of the left fielder and over the fence on a ground rule double. That will score Engel from second. Schaller's going to hold up at third, which is unfortunate because if that ball stays in the park, Schaller was going on contact and probably scores. So Dodge City with a 1-0 lead here in the top of the first on a ground rule double by Dawson Tate, and that will bring up right fielder Richard Fullerton. Fullerton, the sophomore, 6'3", 200 pounds from Kansas City, Missouri. He's got 2 runners on here, both in scoring position. And we'll see here if Dodge City can do what they couldn't do last night, which was bring in the runs when they had him on base. Stevens with a first pitch in there. Fullerton taken all the way for a strike. So now 0-1 count here to Richard Fullerton. Again, Dodge City just took first lead of the game there on a ground rule double by Dawson Tate. Fullerton takes the 0-1 count, fouls one away there. So now in a hole 0-2, going to have to try and protect here. As pull out my notes, that is Dawson Tate's 17th, I believe 17th double of the season. That moves him into the top 10 in single season Dodge City history with 4 different conquistadors and still an opportunity to move up the charts a little bit before this season ends. Stevens with a quick look over at Tate at second with the delivery to Fullerton, who fouls it up into the suite area over here. Not a whole lot of fans up in the press box and suite area, as fans have kind of settled in, found a spot they want to sit in with nothing but sunshine and clear skies today. Not quite as big a crowd being an after 1 o'clock in the afternoon game, but nonetheless, fans are here. Stevens with the 0-2 delivery, gets Fullerton to swing through one, kind of handcuffed him a little bit, and that will end the inning for Dodge City. So, the Conquistadors score 1 run on 2 hits. There were no errors, but they do leave 2 runners on base. We head to the bottom of the first. Dodge City 1, Kansas City, Kansas 0. You're watching Conquistador Baseball on the Conquistador Sports Network. We are back here at the ballpark. Dodge City gets quick lead there, 1-0 lead in the top of the first as the designated road team today. Conquistadors lost the coin toss last night following their game, so they are the road team. They occupy the first base dugout today, but able to score a run on Dawson Tate's 17th double of the year. Ground rule double over the right center or left center field wall, just left of the scoreboard here at Lawrence Dumont Stadium. Dodge City sends out starting sophomore pitcher Cole Brandon to the mound. Brandon 6-3 on the year, 4.55 ERA coming into this game. The 6'2", 220-pound left-hander out of Fort Collins, Colorado, has himself on the career charts in a couple different areas: career strikeouts, career wins, season strikeouts, and career innings pitched here at Dodge City. So, been a big staple the last 2 years for head coach Phil Stevenson in that starting pitching rotation. Kansas City, Kansas will lead things off with shortstop number 3, Albert Woodard. Woodard is a 6-foot, 160-pound sophomore out of Nashville, Tennessee, as Brandon will start out here working out of the windup. First pitch in there for a strike on the outside corner, and Dodge City's underway here in the bottom of the first. Woodard comes into this at bat hitting .372 on the year. Started 47 of the 48 games he's played in, as he swings through a strike there. Cole Brandon gets him in a 0-2 hole, and Brandon this year's really been able to get hitters behind in counts early on and then put them away, striking them out. Brandon from the windup wastes one there, tries to see if he can get Woodard to take a swing at one, chase a little bit, but good plate discipline by Woodard, and now 1-2 count to the Kansas City, Kansas leadoff batter. Pitch there misses just a little inside. Woodard tries turning into it, maybe trying to wear it. Don't know if the umpire would have gave him that call, but nonetheless, 2-2 count here. Bottom of the first, no outs. Brandon with the delivery misses outside again, and now full count. Something that you don't necessarily want to see if you're head coach Phil Stevenson. He had to use 4 different pitchers last night, and you know in an elimination game you're going to try to save your bullpen as much as you can to get back into things. Brandon from the windup jams Woodard, but he's able to fight it off and drop a pitch in there for a base hit into center field, as Peterson will come up fielding that, and Kansas City, Kansas has their leadoff batter on with a base hit. That will bring up center fielder number 26, Tyler Pittman. Pittman, a 5'7", 175-pound freshman. He comes from Lee's Summit, Missouri, and one of the better batters on this Kansas City, Kansas team. Second best batting average on the team with a .395 average and 11 doubles. Head coach Matt Goldbeck decides to try to play a little small ball there. Tries to get Pittman to lay down a bunt. Goes foul back to the screen. Goldbeck in his second year here at Kansas City, Kansas. Overall record of 81-40. The Blue Devils are 40-20 on the year after dropping their opener last night to Hutchinson Community College by a score of 7-1. Pittman shows bunt, pulls it back, and Brandon gets the call in the outside corner there. Good frame by catcher Robert Perea to get the home plate umpire to make that call. Now 0-2 count. You know you can kind of lay off on bringing your infielders in with the bunt because you're probably not going to bunt with 2 strikes. As Pittman goes swinging there, gets a piece of it, but sends it foul just past the third base dugout as a couple of Blue Devil players jump out to retrieve it. All foul balls have been asked to be returned to dugouts today to try to keep costs down here at the region tournament. Brandon looks in, gets his sign from Perea. Quick look over at the runner at first with the delivery, and ground over to Cook. Cook turns to Bergdahl. Bergdahl to Schaller, and that is a 4-6-3 double play. Erases the runner on base, and now 2 outs for the Conquistadors. Absolutely textbook play there for Cook to field that ball, come in on a little bit, get it over to Bergdahl. Bergdahl gets the runner over at first by about half a step, but nonetheless, there are now 2 outs for Dodge City here in the bottom of the first. Into the left-handed batter's box will step Alex Phillips. Takes first pitch there outside for a ball. Now 1-0 count. First batter that Cole Brandon has not been able to get a first pitch strike on today. Brandon back again working from the windup as Phillips able to send one into left field, and a diving catch by Cade Engel will make the third out of the inning. Kind of slipped as he was running in on it, but is able to make the catch, and that will end the inning. So no runs on 1 hit. There were no errors and no runners left on base. We are going to head to the top of the second here. We'll be back in 30 seconds. You're watching Conquistador Baseball on the Conquistador Sports Network. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Top of the second here at Lawrence Dumont Stadium as we are here 20 minutes into the game. Dodge City will send up 7-hole batter, designated hitter today, Isaac Snyder, freshman right-hander out of Richmond, Indiana, 5'9", 163 pounds. Comes into this at-bat hitting .294 on the year. Snyder started 17 games, appeared in 22 overall. Fouls back the first pitch there as takes pitch number 2 low for a ball to even the count at 1-1. Dodge City scores a run in the first on 2 hits, erases an early base runner by Kansas City, Kansas in the bottom of the first with a textbook 4-6-3 double play as Snyder takes ball 2 in there, low inside. So now 2-1 count, hitter's count for the designated hitter. Stevens takes a little bit off of that one, gets Snyder to swing through, And now 2-2 count to Isaac Snyder, leadoff batter here in the top of the second for Dodge City. Snyder a little behind on that one, fouls it away, out of play, outside of the stadium, into the parking lot. Just a absolutely gorgeous day here. Wind's picking up just a little bit. Last night there was no wind to be found. Today's not so much. As Stevens with the 2-2 delivery, misses upstairs for a ball, will make the count go full. Wind today, again, blowing right to left about 15 to 20 miles an hour. You can see the flags moving just a bit more now as the flags are located down in the right field corner. As Snyder fouls another one off the right side into the little party deck that the Wichita Wingnuts here have. Again, Lawrence Dumont Stadium, the home facility of the Wichita Wingnuts Independent League Baseball team. As Stevens with the 3-2 delivery again, Snyder fights another one off now. So this will be Shea Stevens' 31st pitch of the game now. Only just over an inning into things. First batter of the second innings that he has faced. And if you're Dodge City, that's what you want to see, is get into that Kansas City, Kansas bullpen early on. Stevens with the 3-2 pitch, misses low inside, and Snyder draws himself a walk, something he's been able to do on pretty consistent basis this year, as that is his 16th walk of the year, and he does have a little bit of speed, folks, so that will bring up catcher Robert Perea. Perea hitting .253 on the year. Phil Stevenson, head coach for the Conquistadors, down in the third base coach's box. Have to see here if he elects to maybe play a little small ball. Perea has been asked to lay down some bunts throughout the season, so would not surprise anybody if he decides to do so. Pitch in the dirt by Stevens. Snyder gets a great read on it and decides to take second, so that will be a wild pitch by Stevens. Snyder read that all the way, saw the pitch in the dirt, and once it was in the dirt, he said he's taking off and he's going. So that will officially be credited as a wild pitch to Stevens. Puts a runner on second for Dodge City. Still no outs here. Perea takes the 1-0 pitch there. Inside again. 2-0 count now. And you're working with a hitter's count on a beautiful day here. You got the right-handed versus left-handed pitcher here on a matchup you want if you're Perea, and he's going to chop one up the middle. Second baseman fields it cleanly, does get the out, but if you're Robert Perea, you do exactly what you need to do there by hitting it to Fortuna. You hit it behind the runner, and Isaac Snyder now able to move over to third and is now just 90 feet away from making the score 2-0 in favor of Dodge City. The ground out will now put one out on the board for Dodge City with 9-hole hitter Cole Bergdahl up to bat. Bergdahl, 5'11", 162-pound freshman from Lahoma, Indiana. And that's going to be a squeeze bunt misplayed by the first baseman, Phillips. Everybody safe. So that's going to be an E3F on a sacrifice bunt. And that's going to drive in a run for Dodge City. Had Phillips fielded that cleanly, it appeared as though he was going to try to send things home and try to get the lead runner. But with Snyder coming down the line, he knows what his responsibility is. He's probably going to try and score on that regardless. So now that will bring up Cade Angle. Angle got the game started for Dodge City with a single to get things going here in the top of the first. Now sitting here top of the second, still one out and one runner on for Angle in a 2-0 game. Angle takes the first pitch low for a ball as Stevens is really having to work here in early on. Steven takes a look at the runner at first, throws over there just to see what Bergdahl's thinking about doing. Bergdahl on the year does not have a whole lot of speed, has been thrown out in his 2 attempts that he has tried stealing, so wouldn't necessarily think of him as a threat to run here as Angle fouls one off out of play on the right side there. So when Stevens has got Dodge City batters to foul him away, it's typically been that the batters have been a little behind on the pitch. Now 1-1 count 1 out for Dodge City here, top of the second. We got Cole Bergdahl over there on first base as left-hander Stevens with the delivery and a swinging strike there by Cade Engel. Now 1-2 count for the freshman from Pampa, Texas. Engel now hitting .394 on the year, 74 hits total. He's moving himself up the charts as well. We'll get you an update on that as we can throughout the game. Stevens with, again, just blows another one by Engel. That's going to be a strikeout swinging. That is Stevens' third of the game, and now 2 outs for Dodge City.
Second baseman, Braden Cook.
Braden Cook will come up to bat, strikeout victim in the top of the first, trying to see if he can maybe redeem himself here with a runner on, moving on contact. Stevens with another throw over to first. Again, just not a whole lot of a lead off by Cole Bergdahl, so wouldn't necessarily expect much out of him again. In his only 2 stolen base attempts on the year, he's been thrown out both times, but Stevens is really worried about him for some reason or other, throws over again, and Bergdahl can't be more than 3 to 4 feet off the bag there. I mean, he's getting back without question, no effort at all. And there goes Bergdahl. He's going to get into second, sliding. No throw down by the catcher in Holtgreave. So that is a stolen base for Cole Bergdahl. And now Cook's got himself a runner in scoring position to drive in. Pitch was in there for a ball, so now 1-0 count. Ball 2 in there for another ball. And now 2-0 count to Braden Cook. Cook, 5'7" freshman from Richland Hills, Texas, I apologize. Second best batting average on the team coming into this game. Came into today with a .369 batting average. This is his 52nd start of the year as Cook sends one to the shortstop there. That is Woodard, who has time to throw over to Phillips to make the out and end the inning. Dodge City strands one there, but 1 run. There were no hits in the inning. Able to score on that safety squeeze. There was 1 error and 1 runner left on base. We head to the bottom of the second. Dodge City 2, Kansas City, Kansas 0. You're watching Conch Baseball on the DC3 Sports Network. I'd like to welcome everybody back to Lawrence Dumont Stadium here on a beautiful Saturday afternoon. We are here day 2 of the NJCAA Region 6 Central District Tournament as Dodge City able to score runs in the first and second innings. Here as we head to the bottom of the second, designated hitter Rory Combs will lead things off for Kansas City, Kansas. Mentioned earlier in the broadcast that Cade Engel with his 73rd hit of the season. He is now 5th on the all-time charts at DC3 for a single season as Combs grounds one over to Cook, makes the easy throw over to Schaller. 1 pitch, 1 out for Dodge City.
Right fielder, number 20, Chase Reddick.
Also like to take this time to mention that Engel, with that run scored, that puts run number 62 scored by him on the year. He's now 3rd, just 4 away from the record. Actually, no, that puts him in a tie for 2nd, folks. So Chase Reddick, the right fielder for Kansas City, Kansas, comes up to bat, takes first pitch there for a strike. Now 0-1 count takes pitch number 2 on the outside corner, called strike, and now quickly in an 0-2 hole is Reddick. Reddick, the 6 foot, 155-pound sophomore from Merriam, Kansas, so local Kansas product, pops one up here. That's going to be a little bit of trouble for Engel, but he's able to make the catch, get over in that left center field gap, and now 2 outs for the Conquistadors here in the bottom of the second, trying to get through this Kansas City, Kansas lineup. KCK was 7-1 losers last night to number 3 nationally ranked Hutchinson Community College. Not a whole lot doing on the offensive end by the Blue Devils. Easton Fortuna, second baseman for the Blue Devils, steps into the batter's box, right-handed batter's box, takes first pitch from Brandon for a called strike right down the heart of the plate. Brandon's only thrown 4 balls here today through 1 2/3 innings, 13 strikes, 17 total, as that ball's going to go up the middle, but Bergdahl charges on it, gets it, and Schaller able to hold his foot on the bag for the out. So 6-pitch inning by Cole Bergdahl, and the Conks are out of there. We're heading to the top of the third, folks. No runs, no hits, no errors, no one left on base, and it is still 2-0 Dodge City. We'll be back in 30 seconds. You're watching DC3 Baseball on the Conquistador Sports Network. I'd like to welcome everybody back here to Lawrence Dumont Stadium as Dodge City able to get a 1-2-3 6-pitch inning by Cole Brandon there, bottom of the second. We head to the top of the third. Dodge City 2, Kansas City, Kansas 0. And head coach there for Kansas City, Kansas, Matt Goldbeck, not exactly a fan of that call there on that third out. Schaller really has to stretch to hold his foot on the bag. Umpire said he held it for out number 3. So a little bit of a discussion there by the coach and the umpire after the inning. But we head to the bottom of the third, or the top of the third nonetheless. Into the box steps left-hander Jake Peterson, center fielder for the Conquistadors. Takes ball 1 low. Now working with a 1-0 count. Takes pitch there. Misses somewhere, not exactly sure where. Looked to catch the outside half of the plate. Looked to be in there. But umpire calls it ball 2. 2-0 pitch, misses for ball 3. Now 3-0 count. We'll see what head coach Phil Stevenson decides to do with his center fielder here. Peterson hitting .339 on the year now. Got 41 runs scored, 56 hits. 13 of those hits are doubles. Taking all the way there for a strike. Now 3-1 count. First time up, Peterson able to ground out over to first baseman Phillips, but it does move the runner and Cade Engel over to second. Engel would come around to score on that, so if you're Jake Peterson, you did exactly what you're supposed to do in that situation. Peterson fouls one off, out of play, down the third base side, out of play, into the parking lot here at Lawrence Dumont Stadium. And now quickly 3-2 count as Peterson gets a piece of that one, goes up onto the netting and back down into the field of play. Dawson Tate will go retrieve that one from the Conquistador dugout, throw it over to the Blue Devils, and back he goes into the Dodge City dugout. Stevens working from the windup as Peterson gets a little bit of a hit there, but straight to center fielder as it carries a little bit, but Pittman's able to kind of take a couple steps back there, make the catch relatively easily, and there is one out here in the top of the third. That will bring up Talon Schaller as keeping an eye on the pitch count here for Stevens, now sitting at 50, 31 strikes, 19 balls. Opposition in Cole Brandon, though, only 18 pitches so far. So Shea Stevens has thrown more balls than Cole Brandon has thrown pitches total in this game. Schaller takes first pitch outside corner for a strike there. Now 0-1 count. As Kansas City, Kansas has already got guys up and moving in the bullpen. We'll try to get you a number on that as soon as we can. Schaller fouls one off there. Now 0-2 count for the sophomore right-handed batter from Lakewood, Colorado. Schaller now hitting .352 on the year. Does have 17 home runs to his name. That is a single-season school record. 18 in his career at Dodge City, which is, I believe, the third most in school history. And it is as Schaller goes down swinging there. Got an off-speed pitch, which he's been susceptible to all year, and goes down swinging for his, let's see here, his 42nd strikeout of the year. So that'll bring up Dawson Tate, 2 outs, no one on for Dodge City in the top of the third. 2-0 lead for the Conquistadors. They've led this thing throughout now after that run in the top of the first. And Tate, first pitch swinging, lines one into left field as Schumacher makes a pretty easy play on that after it drops in for a base hit, bounces off the turf. Playing at an all-turf stadium here outside of the pitcher's mound. That is the only natural surface that Lawrence Dumont Stadium has. That is dirt, but other than that, it is a turf field. Getting word here from one of our players that is now 2 pitches and 2 hits for Dawson Tate. Both times he's gotten a first pitch swinging down for a single or a double and now single. That brings Richard Fullerton up to the plate. He's first pitch swinging, takes a hack at one, fouls it back out of play, and now quickly 0-1 count. 2 outs here, top of the third with Tate on first. Getting word that Kansas City, Kansas with their bullpen is number 27, Cam Bednar. We'll give you the stats and numbers on him as we move on, but Fullerton takes one there right off the back of the leg, slow trot down to first base, and umpire is going to give him some time to walk that one off. That one could not have felt well. Looked like a fastball that just got away from Stevens there. So that will put 2 runners on base for designated hitter Isaac Snyder. Snyder able to draw a walk earlier today, so officially 0 for 0 on the day. As Snyder, that was his 16th walk of the year, takes first pitch down low outside for a ball. Again, 2 outs here in the top of the third. Dodge City's got 2 runners on. They've had runners on in every inning. Scored 1 in the first, 1 in the second, and have so far held Kansas City, Kansas to just about as little as you can possibly hold them to. Stevens takes a look over at Tate at second, sends one in there, misses outside for a ball. So now 2-0 count to designated hitter in Snyder. Stevens from the stretch, misses low outside, and now 3-0 count, and Snyder is just a pitch away from drawing his second walk of the game, and that would load the bases for the Dodge City catcher in Robert Perea. We'll see what Stevens comes back with here as he takes a quick look at Tate, sends one in, and misses outside again, issues a 4-pitch walk to Snyder. Snyder only hitting .294 on the year, so not necessarily a guy that you want to sit here and walk twice now just 3 innings into the game. That will bring out coach from Kansas City, Kansas to give their guy a little bit more time to get loose, warm up a little bit. Again, that is number 27, Cam Bednar. Bednar, a 6'4", 215-pound sophomore. He is from Shawnee, Kansas, just outside of Kansas City, so local product for the Blue Devils. As we look down the roster here for the Blue Devils, you're mostly looking at kids from that Kansas City area. You got a few from Arkansas. You got Woodard, the shortstop from Nashville, Tennessee. But as you go down the list, there's only a handful of guys that are not from either Kansas or Missouri on this roster. Mound meeting is done. Head coach or Blue Devil coach back into the dugout, and that will bring up Robert Perea, right-handed batter, catcher who did not play last night as Dawson Tate took care of the catching duties last night, but Perea getting the call today, being a right-handed batter facing a left-handed pitcher in Stevens. Perea takes first pitch in there for a strike, now 0-1 count. Bases are loaded for the Conquistadors here in the top of the third, and a base hit could really do a little bit of damage here if you're Dodge City. Pitch there misses low outside for a ball, now 1-1 count. Here again, we are at Lawrence Dumont Stadium on a 75-degree day. This is an elimination game. Winner moves on to play tomorrow at 10 a.m. bright and early on Sunday morning. Loser ends their season and goes home. Stevens comes back with a little bit of an off-speed pitch there. Gets Perea to swing through it. Now 1-2 count for Perea. Perea, a 5'9" sophomore from El Paso, Texas. As Stevens steps off the mound and resets there. Perea making his 31st start of the year, 35th appearance overall on the season. As he swings through one there with catcher unable to hold on to it and Holtgreave, but with the bases occupied, just able to step on home plate and end the inning. We head to the bottom of the third as Dodge City gets no runs. There was one hit, no errors, but 3 left on base, so now 6 left on base through 3 innings. Dodge City 2, Kansas City, Kansas 0. We'll be right back. You're watching Conquistador Baseball on the DC3 Sports Network. Back here at Lawrence Dumont Stadium, we head to the bottom of the third. Dodge City leaves the bases loaded in the top of the third. And if you're Phil Stevenson, after seeing the Conks leave 12 runners stranded last night in a 7-4 loss, that is the last thing you want to see right now. Cole Brandon back out onto the mound, sends first pitch into the left-handed batter, left fielder Joshua Schumacher, and that pitch in there for a strike. So 0-1 count here to Schumacher. Gets a piece of that pitch right there, fouls it away into the first base dugout that Dodge City is occupying, just in front of our home photographer, Jeannie Rose. Give a shout out to her as she's busy down there taking pictures, helping us out here on just an absolutely beautiful day here at the stadium. Pitch there misses low outside for a ball. 1-2 count now as Brandon decides to waste one, see if he can get Schumacher to take a swing at one, but does not. So that one's going to get into left field, and Engel has to try to play it, is unable to do so, and that's going to be a double as make it a triple for Schumacher, leadoff triple, and Kansas City, Kansas has a leadoff runner on with no outs. One of those plays where Engel was playing in a little bit. Last night, playing a night game, the ball really didn't carry all that much, and that one just tended to carry a little bit with the wind blowing right to left, and Engel just unable to get a glove on it, has to chase it down at the fence, and Schumacher, with a little bit of speed there, able to get in there safely with a triple. That will bring up third baseman Brandon Green for the Blue Devils as he fouls one back there. Quickly an 0-1 count. Brandon currently sitting at a pitch count of 23 through 2+ innings now. On the other side of things, Shea Stevens, 64 pitches through 3 innings. Kansas City, Kansas does have some action up in the bullpen. Brandon takes a little bit off there with the off-speed pitch. Absolutely fools Green. Makes him look silly there as he's well out in front of that one swinging. And now 0-2 count. Brandon takes a quick look over at Schumacher. Decides to try to waste one there. Maybe see if he can get Green to swing. About a foot inside left-handed batter's box. So nothing doing there by Green. Sends things to a 1-2 count. Green, a 6-foot, 195-pound freshman out of Liberty, Missouri. And he goes down swinging right there for strike number 3. And that is Cole Brandon's first strikeout of the game. That will bring up 9-hole hitter, catcher Drew Holtgreave for the Blue Devils. As we keep an eye on things here, we went into this weekend with a little bit of some conquistadors chasing some records there. That is the 110th strikeout of Cole Brandon's career here at Dodge City, 67th on the year. He is now just 1 away on the season from moving into third place on the charts. Holtgreave swinging there for strike 1 now, 0-1 count to the catcher. Holtgreave, a 6'2", 190-pound sophomore, St. Charles, Missouri product. Again, only a handful of players on this Blue Devil roster that are not from the state of Kansas or Missouri. That one gets behind Holtgreave, and Schumacher comes home on that play there. Brandon thought he had him, but home plate umpire right on top of it calls him safe, and Kansas City's got their first run of the game on a wild pitch. Now make it a 2-1 game here, bottom of the third, as Kansas City, Kansas finally able to strike through, get a run, had that leadoff triple there that went into that left center field gap, and then score him on a wild pitch after a strikeout. So now 1-1 count for Holtgreave, who swings through that one, now 1-2 count. So now 1-2 count here at Lawrence Dumont Stadium. Taking a look at things as pitch misses there just outside, a little bit off the plate for a ball. Send things to a 2-2 count. 1 out here, bottom of the third, as Brandon comes back, and that's going to be a base hit for Holtgreave right back up the middle into center field. Peterson fields it, sends it back into Cook at second, and now KCK has a runner on first, 1 out, and 1 run already in the inning. Situation similar to last night where Dodge City's able to take a lead about the 4th inning and then give up a couple runs there in the 5th, unable to recover, end up straining 12 runners in the game, and you got to just imagine that probably is the difference as Dodge City leaves them loaded on 3 separate occasions. Shortstop Albert Woodard steps into the box for the Blue Devils, takes first pitch in there for a strike, 0-1 count to Woodard, a 6-foot, 160-pound fresh sophomore out of Nashville, Tennessee. Again, one of only 4 or 5 players outside of the state of Kansas and Missouri that are on this roster. Fouls one away there, stays in play. Talon Schaller, first baseman, overruns it just a hair, unable to get a glove on it, And so now it is a 0-2 count to Woodard. Woodard on the 0-2 count, check swing, home plate umpire takes care of himself, says he went around, so that is strikes 3 swinging. It was a wild pitch though, so Holtgreave will take second on the play. Now 2 outs as in steps to the box right-handed batter Tyler Pittman. Pittman came into today with a .395 batting average. He grounded into a double play in the bottom of the first that wiped out a lead-off single for the Blue Devils. Pittman takes first pitch in there for a strike. So now 0-1 count to Pittman. Pittman does have a little bit of pop in the bat with 11 doubles and 7 triples. So a guy that, if he's able to get on base, he's probably going to try to make something happen with some extra bases. Brandon takes a quick look at the runner, and Pittman sends one foul down the left field line into the little media tent that Lawrence Dumont Stadium and the region has set up here for some post-game treatment if needed for the athletic trainers. Maybe a little spot that you can go and kind of relax. As 4 games here being played today, so you got to keep things moving as quick as you can. Get teams in and off the field, get teams in and out for batting practice. Brandon with the 0-2 delivery, and that one's going to go right into right field to Richard Fullerton, who gets under it, makes the catch for out number 3, and that will end the inning for Kansas City, Kansas. In the inning, there was 1 run on 2 hits. There were no errors and 1 runner left on base. We head to the top of the 4th. Dodge City leads things here at Lawrence Dumont 2-1 over Kansas City, Kansas. You're watching DC3 Baseball on the Conquistador Sports Network. Welcome back here to Lawrence Dumont Stadium on a 75-degree afternoon. Just a little under an hour into this ball game, we head to the top of the 4th as the wind has stayed steady, blown from right to left. Dodge City will send up right-handed batter, 9-hole hitter Cole Bergdahl to lead off the inning. Kansas City, Kansas does get a run back there in the bottom of the 3rd after Dodge City is able to score runs in the 1st and the 2nd. But again, problem that the Conquistadors have had this through 2 game and a half now is that they are leaving runners on base. Bergdahl swings through first pitch there for strike. So 0-1 count to Bergdahl, the right-handed freshman out of Lahoma, Oklahoma. Takes pitch there, called a ball, so now 1-1 count to Bergdahl. Dodge City so far in this game has left 6 runners on base. They have turned 1 double play in the bottom of the 1st on Kansas City, Kansas. Bergdahl sends one out of play down the first base side, just inside the stands here at Lawrence Dumont Stadium. stadium, you got different colored seats depending on which part of the stadium you're sitting in. The lower seats are this navy blue color. You got red seats up towards the top as Bergdahl puts a grounder in, and that's going to be a misplay throw by the third baseman, Schumacher, and Bergdahl's going to get on there with an error on the throw. It would have been a difficult play to make, but Schumacher charging there would have been able to make the play had the throw been on line. First baseman Phillips has to come running in to make sure that ball doesn't get into the Dodge City dugout and allow for Bergdahl to take second. That will bring up leadoff batter Cade Engel to the plate. 1 for 2 on the day. Strikeout victim in the top of the second after getting things started with a single to start the game. So 1 for 2 on the day. Now he did come around to score that first run of the game. And Stevens, again, just worried about Bergdahl. We discussed this earlier, but Bergdahl 0 for 2 on the day, coming in for stolen bases. And he's not getting a huge lead, but that is now the third time that he has thrown over to Bergdahl without even throwing a pitch to Engel. Takes another look at the runner at first, throws one into Engel, misses outside for a ball. 1-0 count to Engel. Dodge City 38-18-1 on the year, facing elimination here for the second time in 3 games. As fly ball there to the right fielder in Reddick, easy catch for the out. Has to move about all of 2 steps, and that will be a fly out to the right fielder, and that will bring up second baseman Braden Cook. As we look at things here today, this is game 2 of 4. Winners bracket games will take place tonight. First game up will be Cowley versus Neosho County. That is a 4 o'clock scheduled first pitch as soon as we are done here at Lawrence Dumont Stadium. And then the nightcap will feature the number 3 Hutchinson Community College Blue Dragons versus the number 14 Johnson County Community College Cavaliers. Winner of this game moves on to play a 10 a.m. elimination game tomorrow between the loser of Cowley and Neosho. So Dodge City will have to wait and see who their opponent will be if they are able to get through and win this game. Cook now with a 2-0 count takes pitch there outside for a ball as Stevens still worried about Bergdahl over there at first. Bergdahl now is going, hit and run was on, and the throw is off. It gets away from the shortstop Woodard, so that's going to be a stolen base for Bergdahl, and then an error by the catcher on the throw allows him to move to third. Cook now with a prime opportunity to do something here. Struck out swinging in the first, then grounded out to the shortstop in the top of the second. He's got a runner just 90 feet away now with a 1-1 count. Cook sends one there, foul, chopping it down the turf on the third base line. Head coach Phil Stevenson doesn't even bother making a play on it, knowing that it's heading towards the Kansas City, Kansas bullpen. No need to do anything with it. Taking a look down there as that ball goes foul, Kansas City, Kansas has removed their player from the bullpen. He is no longer warming up, so it looks like for the time being, Stevens is going to ride this one out. Cook goes down swinging there. Catcher unable to hold on to it in Holtgrove, but he makes a quick throw down to Phillips after taking a look at Bergdahl, making sure he's not going to come down the line. Makes the throw over to first, and now 2 outs in the inning for Dodge City as Jake Peterson will step into the box. We are here in the top of the 4th as Shea Stevens has a pitch count of 74 now, something that he really got behind early on. 31 pitches in the top of the first, and he has just not been able to recover since. Peterson taking all the way there. First pitch called for a strike. to the 6'1", 195-pound sophomore, Amarillo, Texas native, been a staple in this lineup all year long for head coach Phil Stevenson. After getting some playing time last year, sends one there foul down the first base side as last night's starting pitcher for Dodge City, Hayden Davey, will make his way down the first base line to go retrieve that ball, bring it back to the dugout with him so it can be used later on in this game. 0-2 count now for Peterson. He'll have to protect as he's got that runner in Bergdahl just 90 feet away. And again, sends another one out of play, out into the parking lot here at Lawrence Dumont Stadium and in the general direction of where the Dodge City bus is parked. So Peterson looking at the 0-2 count here as Stevens with the delivery. Strike three. Holtgreave unable to hold on to it again as a pitch in the dirt got Peterson to chase, and he'll throw down to first to Phillips for the out, and Dodge City strands yet another runner. No runs, no hits. There were 2 errors in the inning and 1 runner left on base. We head to the bottom of the 4th here in Wichita. Dodge City 2, Kansas City, Kansas 1. You're watching DC3 baseball on the Conquistador Sports Network. Back here at Lawrence Dumont Stadium, Dodge City 2, Kansas City, Kansas 1. We head to the bottom of the 4th here with Cole Brandon back out for his 4th inning of work. Dodge City using 4 pitchers last night. So your head coach, Phil Stevenson, so far, you like what you see out of Brandon. Been able to get some quick outs there, quick innings in the first 3 innings. Keep his pitch count relatively low, knowing that if you're going to come back and find a way to win this tournament, you're going to need the pitching staff later on. Alex Phillips, first pitch swinging there, the first baseman for Kansas City, Kansas, sends one out of play, 0-1 count. Swings through second pitch there, so now 0-2 count to the left-handed batter in Phillips. Phillips, a 6'2", 250-pound sophomore from Van Alstyne, Texas. Brandon sends one outside and low for a ball there. Nowhere near the plate, trying to get Phillips to maybe chase through one, but nothing doing. 1-2 count, and Phillips is going to rope that one into center. Peterson will come in on it, but it will get down for a base hit. And Kansas City, Kansas, again, will have their lead-off batter on for the 3rd time in 4 innings. Into the box will step Rory Combs, the designated hitter for Kansas City, Kansas. Combs, left-handed batter with left-handed pitcher Brandon up on the mound today. Combs hitting .382 on the year coming into today. 47 hits, 7 of those are doubles. Does have 4 home runs and 21 runs batted in. Combs takes first pitch looking. Hits the outside corner for a strike. 0-1 count here. Cole Brandon working with now as his pitch count currently sits at 42, keeping it where you relatively want to see it. Phil Stevenson probably going to ride him out as long as he can today, knowing that this is an elimination game and you need to save that bullpen. Pitch there misses outside for a ball, so now 1-1 count to Combs. here in the bottom of the fourth. Kansas City, Kansas does have that runner on first in Phillips after a leadoff single, as Combs is going to put a little blooper in there. Engel unable to come in on that as he's playing a little bit farther out now after that triple that took place in the bottom of the third. And that will put runners on first and second with no outs for the Blue Devils. Right fielder Chase Reddick will step into the box here. Kansas City, Kansas comes into today with a 40-20 overall record. They finished in a tie for third in the KJCCC East in the regular season. Lost the tiebreaker to Neosho County Community College, so they fell down to the 4 seed and had to beat Garden City Community College in 3 games. Gave up 4 runs in the top of the 9th in their Game 3 winner-take-all before scoring the game-winning run, walking it off to be sent here to Wichita. Again, last night, Kansas City, Kansas, 7-1 losers to Hutchinson Community College. Dodge City fell to number 14, Johnson County, by a score of 7-4. So, loser of this game will pack their bags and go home. Brandon with the first pitch as Reddick lays down a bunt down the third base line, seeing if he can move those runners over to second and third, but goes foul. Dawson Tate waits for it to go foul. Third baseman over there from Pueblo, Colorado. Make sure it goes foul, gets it, touches it, and we'll do things over with a 0-1 count. Crowd a little bit thinner here today than we had last night. Last night, yeah, an absolutely beautiful night at the ballpark. We had the nightcap 7 o'clock game where people were able to stick around after watching some of the earlier games. Today, you got the 1 o'clock afternoon matinee, so maybe not as many fans deciding to come out, as Reddick's going to get this bunt down. Tate was holding at third, and that throw's not going to be in time. Just an absolutely perfectly laid bunt by Reddick, the right fielder. And now Kansas City, Kansas is going to have the bases loaded. Still no one out here in the bottom of the fourth. Dodge City did score single runs in the first and the second inning to take that 2-0 lead. Kansas City, Kansas responds with a run in the bottom of the third. And now bases loaded with no one out, threatening to take their first lead of the game here. Brandon gets the sign from Perea, sends first pitch in there, low for a ball, 1-0 count to Easton Fortuna, Kansas City, Kansas, second baseman. He is also a sophomore, very much a sophomore-laden team here for the Blue Devils. As Brandon takes a check at the runner at third, and that ball is going to get roped into center. Peterson makes the catch, sacrifice fly. They're not even going to worry about the runner at heading home. Try to get the runner moving up from second to third. Throw not in time, so that will put runners on the corners. That will go down as a sacrifice fly to the center fielder. It does score a run, and game is now tied here in Wichita. Josh Shoemaker to come up to the plate here. He today has that triple in the third, came around to score on a wild pitch by Cole Brandon. Represents with the go-ahead run there on third. Cole Brandon tries throwing a pickoff over to the first base, try to get Reddick, and that ball goes into the Dodge City bullpen, and that's going to not only score a run, but Reddick's going to move over to third. Still one out here, bottom of the fourth. Kansas City, Kansas takes their first lead of the game here now on that air by Dodge City. Their first air of the game. As Schumacher fouls one off there, goes back towards his own dugout in the third base side. Something Dodge City did not do last night was hurt themselves on the defensive side of things. They were unable to come up with a big hit. That failed pickoff, a very potentially costly play right there, as a ground out to Bergdahl. Checks Reddick over at third, make sure he's staying before sending the ball over to Schaller for the out. 2 outs now here in the bottom of the fourth. Reddick still at third. It is a 3-2 lead for Kansas City, Kansas. Brandon Green, the 8-hole hitter, will step into the box for Kansas City, Kansas. Strikeout victim in the top of the third, or the bottom of the third, as he goes first pitch swinging there, sends one sharply foul down the third base side towards the Kansas City, Kansas dugout, or the bullpen, gets thrown back into the dugout, and we'll do things here with an 0-1 count to Green. Brandon with the delivery. Pitch misses inside for a ball. Now 1-1 count. There are 2 outs in the inning. Kansas City has scored 2 runs in this inning after getting a couple of hits there. 3 hits to start off things before a sacrifice fly and then a failed pickoff move by the pitcher, Brandon. Pitch in there for a ball. Now 2-1 count to Green. Green coming into today, hitting .292 on the year in 130 at-bats. Started 39 games now. This is his 39th start of the year. As Brandon misses outside, now a 3-1 count, and worried about losing this batter and putting another runner on base. Green sends one to right field, right to Richard Fullerton, the Dodge City right fielder. That will end the inning with a line out to the right fielder. But damage done by the Blue Devils. 2 runs on 3 hits, 1 error by the Conquistadors, and 1 runner left on base. Through 4 innings, Kansas 3, Dodge City 2. You're watching DC3 Baseball on the Conquistador Sports Network. We are back here at historic Lawrence Dumont Stadium, heading to the top of the 5th. Dodge City will have cleanup batter in Talon Schaller coming up to the plate. Dodge City trailing for the first time today. They are the road team here, as all games at the region tournament for home and away teams are decided via coin flip. Dodge City in their black tops today, white pants, and purple socks for those who are wearing the high pants. As Schaller will take the first pitch down low for a ball. 1-0 count to the sophomore. 1-0 pitch misses upstairs for a ball. Now 2-0 to Schaller. Stevens deciding to be a little bit careful with Schaller, knowing he does have a lot of pop in the bat. 75 runs batted in this year. And Schaller sends one to the shortstop in Woodard. Throw over to first baseman Phillips in time for the out, and there is now 1 out in the top of the 5th. Dawson Tate will come into this at-bat here. So far, he's only seen 2 pitches today, but they've both been pitches he's liked. Started things off there, top of the first with a ground rule double over the left center field wall. Then Next at bat in the top of the second, able to put in a single down the left field side. Takes first pitch there for a ball. First pitch Tate hasn't swung at today, but no damage done. Stevens with the windup and delivery misses high upstairs for a ball. 2-0 count now. And you know after giving Tate 2 pitches that he liked and hit, you're not going to give him anything here that he could maybe do a little damage with. Ball again misses upstairs. So now 3-0 count to the freshman from Pueblo, Colorado. And you have to wonder with the way Tate's swinging the bat today if head coach Phil Stevenson is going to give him the take sign. He does indeed do so. Ball inside a little bit, but called for a strike on the inside corner. Now 3-1 count to Tate. Stevens working from the stretch, feels comfortable with it. And Tate just does get a piece of that one, swings through it. Full count now to Tate. Stevens working pitch count at 86 here as Kansas City, Kansas will get some action back up in the bullpen, moving around again. They set their pitcher down in the top of the fourth. That was Cam Bednar. They got him back up and moving again after getting him moving early on in the game. And that pitch lined well foul by Tate into the Kansas City, Kansas bullpen and out of play, out of the stadium as it one hops off the turf. Still a 3-2 count here to Dawson Tate. 1 out, top of the fifth. Kansas City, Kansas 3, Dodge City 2. We are at Lawrence Dumont Stadium. Stevens from the stretch misses upstairs for a ball, gives Tate a free pass, and that will put the game-tying run for Dodge City on base with Richard Fullerton coming up to bat. Fullerton officially 0 for 1 today, was hit by a pitch in his last at-bat in the top of the third, took one off the back side of his leg, so his batting average now officially sits at .299 coming into this at-bat with a runner on board for him. Fullerton making his 51st start of the year. 12 doubles, 7 home runs, and 41 runs batted in so far. But a man that has also been hit by 9 pitches now on the year. That is second most on the team. Fullerton with the 1-0 count takes ball too low there. So now 2-0 count, hitters count here for Fullerton. See if he can maybe get one that he wants to take a swing at. Tate's got a little bit of speed on the base paths. You wonder if maybe head coach Phil Stevenson's going to consider putting on the hit and run here. Wind's picking up just a little bit. Again, the wind blowing from right to left today. So for those right-handed batters, it is going to play into their favor at this stadium. Stevens from the stretch, ground out to Woodard there, and that's going to be a 6-4-3 inning-ending double play for Richard Fullerton. Not something you want to see if you're Dodge City, as things end it right there in the fifth. So no runs, no hits, no errors, no one left on base. We head to the bottom of the fifth. Blue Devils 3, Conquistadors 2. You're watching DC3 Baseball on the Conquistador Sports Network. Welcome back, everybody, to Lawrence Dumont Stadium. We are in the bottom of the fifth. Kansas City, Kansas with a 3-2 lead over Dodge City. Dodge City now with a little bit of action in their bullpen. Cole Brandon only sitting at a pitch count of 55. So this might be a situation where you just say, you know what, we're in the fifth inning. We're in a one-run game. If you can maybe have to get some guys moving and try to find a way to win this being an elimination game, you do whatever you can. Into the box will step catcher Drew Holtgreave. Takes first pitch for a ball. Second pitch in there by pitcher Brandon in for a strike inside corner. Now 1-1 count to Holtgreave. Holtgreave, a 6'2 sophomore from St. Charles, Missouri, as he takes the pitch there. Called for a ball, so 2-1 count to the catcher. 9-hole batter for the Blue Devils. Apologize, that was called for a strike. So Holtgreave protecting there. Fouls one off into the first base stands towards the Neosho County baseball team, who is here a little early today, taking in some baseball. They will play directly following this game here. Brandon from the windup sends a pitch in, and Holtgreave had no idea what was coming to him. Kind of takes a half-hearted swing at it and strikes out swinging for the first out of the inning.
Shortstop, Albert Woodard.
That will turn things over for the Blue Devils. Bring up Albert Woodard for Kansas City, Kansas. Woodard 1 for 2 on the day. Had a leadoff single to start the game for the Blue Devils. Struck out swinging in the third. Takes first pitch there. Called for a strike on the inside part of the plate. Woodard swinging on the second one. Goes right to second baseman Braden Cook. Makes the easy throw over to first and Talon Schaller. And now 2 away for Dodge City. And after giving up a single run in the third and 2 runs in the fourth, giving up that lead, right now what you need is a 1-2-3 inning, with Dodge City now just 1 out away from getting out of this. Center fielder Tyler Pittman steps into the box, takes first pitch there, called for a strike. Now 0-1 count for Brandon. Something he's been able to do when he does get ahead of batters, he's been able to get them out relatively efficiently. There's a swinging pitch for Pittman. Jake Peterson, center fielder, backs up just a couple steps, makes the catch for out number 3, and Dodge City has themselves a 1-2-3 inning for the third time today. 6-pitch inning for the second time for Cole Brandon. No runs, no hits. There were no errors and no one left on base for Kansas City, Kansas. Blue Devils still lead 3-2 over Dodge City. You're watching DC3 Baseball on the Conquistador Sports Network. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Lawrence Dumont Stadium, unofficially the 4th ever meeting between the Blue Devils and Conquistadors here. Now, if any fans out there listening to the broadcast today, watching the game, do have any records that they have that they can send into the Dodge City Sports Information Department, we'd be more than happy to take them, take a look at them, and see if we can get our records updated just a tad bit more. Isaac Snyder, designated hitter for the Conquistadors, steps in, takes first pitch, called for a strike. Snyder today 0 for 0, still not an official at-bat as he has walked twice. Takes pitch there, call outside for a ball, now 1-1 count. Snyder taking a look in as Stevens still out there working his 6th inning of work now. Pitch outside for a ball, 2-1 count as Kansas City, Kansas seems content to keep Stevens out there. His pitch count is at 94, so you have to figure this might be his last inning unless he gets into a little bit of trouble. That one's going to be a great diving snag, sliding across the turf by the second baseman for Fortuna. He throws over to Phillips for the out. And let me tell you, folks, Fortuna's got to have a little bit of speed and gets a great jump on that one because otherwise that one is through for a base hit. That will bring up catcher Robert Perea for Dodge City. Perea today 0 for 2. Has a ground out to second baseman in the second. Struck out swinging to end the inning in the top of the third. First pitch in there for a strike. So Perea is down 0-1 in the count. Second pitch in there, called for a strike. Perea now down 0-2 in the count. Didn't see a pitch there that he liked, but nonetheless, it is in there for a strike. Now down 0-2 to the 5'9", 160-pound sophomore. And down he goes. No, he does get a piece of it. Catcher unable to hold on to that one. So Perea lives to fight another day here with a foul ball as the catcher, Holtgreave, unable to hold on to that. Something that we've noticed up here in the press box today, that Holtgreave has not been able to squeeze a lot of those third strikes today. Perea, again, just does get a piece of things, keeps himself alive, and he's really fighting right now to make sure that he can get a good look at Stevens, run that pitch count up, and maybe see if Dodge City can get him out of this game earlier than what we're looking at now. This will be Stevens' 100th pitch of the game, as this time Holtgreave is able to hold on to it. Stevens puts one past Perea for a strikeout. Now, 8 strikeouts in the game for Stevens. Came into today with a 6-4 overall record, 3.76 ERA, and that will bring Cole Bergdahl, the 9-hole hitter, up for Dodge City. First pitch, outside corner, called for a strike. Home plate umpire said it caught enough of that black part of the plate there to call it in there for a strike. 0-1 count to Bergdahl as Stevens working out of the stretch. Low outside, misses just a little bit more off the plate there. Now 1-1 count to the Dodge City shortstop. Bergdahl gets a hold of one here, but it's going to hang up just enough in the left center field gap for the center fielder Pittman to get under it, make the catch for out number 3. So no runs, no hits, no errors, and no one left on base for the Conquistadors in the 6th. We head to the bottom of the 6th. Kansas City, Kansas 3, Dodge City 2. You're watching Dodge City Baseball on the Conquistador Sports Network. We are back here at historic Lawrence Dumont Stadium on a 75-degree day. Hour and a half into this elimination ball game, game number 6 at the NJCAA Region 6 Central District Tournament. Dodge City does have some movement up in the bullpen. It's going to be right-hander Johnny Chavez, played third base last night. So you have to wonder if maybe Phil Stevenson was planning on using him today, and that is why Dawson Tate's playing third, and you got Robert Perea in there at catcher. Alex Phillips, Kansas City, Kansas first baseman, takes first pitch from Cole Brandon in for a strike, 0-1 count. Pitch number 2 just misses inside for a ball. Doesn't miss by much. Gets Phillips to off the plate there. He is crowding the plate a little bit, so now 1-1 count, and Phillips is going to send that one foul out of play down the third base side into the parking lot here. Parking lot surrounds the back side of the stadium. For a stadium that's been around for quite some time, head coach Phil Stevenson giving us a little bit of background info on it on Thursday during our practice session. Brandon sends pitch in there, low for a ball. Brandon's pitch count sitting at 68 overall, so if he's able to get out of this inning relatively quickly, you got to wonder if maybe head coach Phil Stevenson would consider sending him back out there for another inning, knowing that it is only a one-run game at 3-2. Reset should give you a line score. Dodge City 2 runs on 3 hits. They do have 1 error. Kansas City, Kansas 3 runs on 6 hits and 3 errors now in the ball game. Brandon working from the stretch, sends one into Phillips, who just does get a piece of it, sends it back to the backstop, keeps things at a 2-2 count here in the bottom of the 6th. Crowd filling in just a little bit as we get about halfway through this game now. Next scheduled game is a 4 o'clock start. Teams are starting to file in, Neosho County and Cowley County. Brandon misses pitch there outside, sends things to a full count here to lead-off batter Alex Phillips. Phillips on the day 1 for 2 with a single in the 4th. And Phillips is going to put one in the hole to Braden Cook, who makes the throw but unable to get there in time. Schaller just misses it off his glove, and that's going to be an infield single for Alex Phillips. I apologize. That will bring up the designated hitter in Rory Combs for Kansas City, Kansas. Combs, a 5'9" freshman out of Independence, Missouri, one of the few freshmen that are starting today for the Blue Devils. Combs does hit .382 on the year, has 47 hits, 7 of those are doubles, 21 runs batted in, and has only struck out 12 times. So not necessarily a strikeout threat here for the Blue Devils. Brandon sends the 0-1 pitch in there. First pitch was called for a strike. Or I apologize, that was fouled away. So fouled away down into the third base side into the stands. Fans going and retrieving it for us here so they can bring them back to the dugout, cut down on those costs that the region has to pay to rent this facility out. 0-1 pitch in there for a strike, swinging is Combs, swings through it. Perea pops out of his stance to make sure he gets that covered before Phillips can think about taking second potentially on a wild pitch. And now Brandon has Combs in an 0-2 hole. And Brandon wastes no time going right back at him, puts one up right across the heart of the plate, gets Combs to swing, changed the elevation just a little bit, buried the last pitch, sends that one up a little bit higher in the zone, but gets him to swing through, and that is going to be a strikeout for Cole Brandon. Now 3-4 on the day total. Chase Reddick will step into the right-handed batter's box. First pitch swinging, looking for something he wanted. Try to get a good hack at one. Dodge City outfield playing at normal depth, not doing anything crazy, guarding lines or anything like that. So there is some gaps available if you're going to put one in a gap. That one is got a hold of by Reddick. Left fielder Engel makes a jump on it, but it gets down for a hit, and that's going to be a stand-up double for Reddick, and that'll put 2 runners on second and third for the Blue Devils. Second baseman Easton Fortuna steps into the box. Again, Dodge City does have some movement up in the bullpen, and right-hander Johnny Chavez. Chavez this year, last outing was in that Game 3 winner-take-all against Coffeyville, where he earned the save. He has a team-low 2.73 ERA, 4-0 record in 11 appearances, 3 starts on the year, 26 in a third innings pitched. Fortuna waiting for first pitch to come from Brandon. Takes a look at the runners, and that's going to be a base hit through the left gap. And Kansas City, Kansas is going to send the runner. He's going to come in safely. And now Fortuna's caught in a rundown and is called out for running out of the baseline. So Cook able to get him out, following the single through the left side. But it is going to be a 2 RBI single, and Kansas City, Kansas now leads by a score of 5-2.
Left fielder Josh Schumacher.
Josh Schumacher will step up to the plate here. 2 outs in the bottom of the 6th. Schumacher, the left fielder for the Blue Devils, at a triple in the 3rd and got the Blue Devils on the board. Takes first pitch there for a strike. 0-1 count for Brandon as he comes back inside. Misses low and in on Schumacher. Evens the count at 1-1. Dodge City in a little bit of trouble here. They've left 7 runners aboard on the bases to end the innings as Schumacher takes pitch there from Brandon. Called for a strike. Now 1-2 count to Schumacher. Schumacher, a 6 foot, 175-pound freshman from Aurora, Colorado, and he's going to hit a little nubber to Tate over at third. Makes the throw, just does beat Schumacher at first, and that will end the inning. 2 runs on 3 hits. There were no errors, no one left on base for the Blue Devils. Your score, Kansas City, Kansas 5, Dodge City 2. You're watching Dodge City Baseball on the Conquistador Sports Network. Cade Engel will lead things off here for the Conquistadors in the top of the 7th. Dodge City now down 5-2 in the game. Need to get a little bit going here to see if they can cut into this lead. Problem so far in the 16 innings they've played here at Lawrence Dumont is leaving runners on base. They've now stranded a total of 19 runners. They stranded 12 last night as Shea Stevens, the Blue Devil pitcher, is out for his 7th inning of work. Pitch count currently sitting at 104, but now with a 3-run lead, maybe head coach Matt Goldbeck feels a little bit more comfortable with them out there. 1-0 pitch in there for a strike to Engel. First pitch missed low in the dirt. Now 1-1 count to leadoff batter Engel. 1-1 count. Pitch misses low again for a ball. Now 2-1 count to Engel. Engel comes into this at-bat hitting .389 on the year, so keeping it right where it came into this game. He does have one of the 2 runs scored by the Conquistadors as he fouls that one off to the first base side towards the Dodge City player that's keeping an eye on the bullpen, making sure those guys are aware of any foul balls that come their way. And now it is a 2-2 count to Engel. Again, no outs here in the top of the 7th. Pitch there by Stevens, misses upstairs for a ball, goes to a full count. Stevens from the stretch, misses upstairs, ball 4, and that's what you need if you're Dodge City, is another free pass from Stevens. Stevens now today has walked a total of 5 batters. He does have the 8 strikeouts, 1 wild pitch, and has hit a batter. So he's given up 6 free passes today. He's given up a total of 6 free passes. Both runs by Dodge City, I believe, are off those walks that he has given up. And now, if you're Dodge City, runner on, 3-run game, and you got your top of the order up, Engel leading things off. Now Cook up to bat as he takes first pitch upstairs for a ball. Now is probably the best opportunity you're going to get today. Kansas City, Kansas deciding to keep Stevens in there. You know his pitch count's high. And you got your leadoff, you got your top of the order up to where now's the time to do some damage. And Cook does just that, gets what we're going to call a turf hit. One of those where you send it down, pound it right into the turf, and bounces over the third baseman's head into left field for a base hit. And now Dodge City's got the game-tying run coming up to the plate in Jake Peterson. Dodge City's been in this situation before throughout the year. Come back and won on a handful of those. I will try to get you the numbers on that as I get them for you. But that's going to be a bunt by Jake Peterson, and it just is going to roll foul. It really did die down there towards the end, but just had enough speed on it to roll foul. Otherwise, that probably is a base hit bunt on Jake Peterson, just trying to sacrifice those 2 runners over. Phil Stevenson electing to play a little small ball here and say if we can get 2 of those 3 runs back, go down into the 8th inning, still knowing that we got 6 outs to get 1 run, we can turn things over to our bullpen. Hopefully they can keep us in this game. Peterson will step back into the box with a 0-1 count now. Stevens still out there pitching, throwing strong with his 8 strikeouts today. And Peterson's going to ground one through the right side. Coach Stevenson going to hold Engel at third. Probably the right call as that right fielder was charging on that ball. Throw was a little off the line, but it was far enough up the third base line to where if Engel tries scoring on that, very good possibility he's going to get thrown out. So we now have bases loaded here. Dodge City with Talon Schaller coming up to the dish, but before that happens, looks like we have potential for a pitching change here. Kansas City, Kansas coach out to talk with his pitcher in Stevens. Stevens currently sitting at 113 pitches, 44 balls, 69 strikes on the day. Is going to be responsible for all 3 batters on base right now. Again, no outs, and that is going to do it for Shea Stevens. So Stevens goes 6+ innings. Again, responsible for all 3 runners at the plate. So worst case scenario for Stevens is he's going to take the no decision. Best case scenario for him, he can pick up his 7th win of the year. We'll have to wait and see how that goes. We'll get you the full line on this new Blue Devil pitcher. You're watching Dodge City Baseball on the Conquistador Sports Network. Welcome back here, ladies and gentlemen. Lawrence Dumont Stadium. Let's set the scene here for you. We are in the top of the 7th. Dodge City now trails Kansas City, Kansas by a score of 5-2. This is an elimination game. Loser will see their season come to a close. The winner will fight to see another day and play at 10 a.m. tomorrow in another elimination game. Kansas City, Kansas has made a call to the bullpen. They have replaced Shea Stevens after 114 pitches, 6+ innings of work. New pitcher for the Blue Devils is going to be number 27, Cam Bednar. Bednar 2-0 with a 3.96 ERA. Does have 15 appearances on the year, 2 of those for starts, but has only thrown 25 total innings. So if there is an opportunity for Dodge City to make a little noise, get themselves back in this game, this is probably the best opportunity you are going to get right here in Talon Schaller at the dish. Schaller, 348 batting average on the year, does have the 17 home runs that we've discussed throughout the 2 days here, which is a single-season school record. Takes first pitch inside, maybe upstairs a little bit there for a ball, and Schaller will be working with a 1-0 count with the right-hander Bednar. Bednar is 6'4", 215-pound sophomore. He is from Shawnee, Kansas. And Schaller swings through that one, found one he liked, unable to catch up to it. Dodge City has switched up their bullpen a little bit. They initially had Johnny Chavez, the right-hander, up and working. They now have right-hander Jeremy Hidalgo up and getting loose. Hard to say what head coach Phil Stevenson's thinking here. When a 3-run game, you got the game or the go-ahead run at the plate right now. There's no outs in the top of the 7th. Schaller sends that one back to the screen, gets a piece of it, and it is now a 1-2 count to the sophomore first baseman. Bednar with the pitch, and that's going to get right back up the middle. Woodard's not playing all that close to second base. It gets through. It scores 2 runs as Cook has some speed at second, and Dodge City now trails by just a single run. That's going to be a 2 RBI single for Talon Schaller, and Dodge City now trailing just 5-4. Peterson moves to second on that. Cook and Engel both score, and that will bring up Dawson Tate. Tate with the 2 hits already today, looking for a third here, and base hit, as long as it gets in the grass, Peterson's going to have to make sure it gets down, but if it gets down, you might consider sending him if you're head coach Phil Stevenson. First pitch inside, it hits Tate. Tate's not even going to get a chance to do anything with it, but it's going to load the bases again for Dodge City, and quickly out comes head coach Matt Goldbeck for Kansas City, Kansas. Absolutely disastrous start here for Bednar. Last thing he wanted to do was give up those 2 runs on to the first batter and Talon Schaller, and that is going to do it for Bednar. We will have a pitching change here for you in just a moment. You're watching Dodge City Baseball on the Conquistador Sports Network. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. It's now a 5-4 ball game. Dodge City still got the bases loaded. There are no outs in the inning as Dawson Tate was hit by a pitch. And we will have the pitching change here for you as we get our stuff updated here for you to make sure we can bring you as much as we can of this Dodge City baseball game. New pitcher is going to be number 7, Julian Rivera. Rivera on the year, 2-1 record, 3.42 ERA. 19 appearances, all in relief. Do want to pass along a little note there. That 2 RBI single by Talon Schaller, that gives him 77 runs batted in this year. That ties the single season school record. So congrats to Talon Schaller. If he finds a way to get another run batted in somehow this weekend, he will become the all-time leader at Dodge City in a single season. Nonetheless, he is, at least for the time being, tied with the most runs batted in a single season. Richard Fullerton steps to the plate, facing Rivera, the first batter that Rivera will face today, in a situation that if you're a relief pitcher, you don't necessarily want to come in and have to deal with. It is a bases-loaded situation as Bednar leaves the game. He is responsible for the runners at second and third, does not record an out in a relief appearance. Fullerton swinging through a pitch there, was a 1-0 count. Found one he liked, missed on it, so now 1-1 count to Fullerton. Fullerton's average has dipped just a little bit today, as we'll get you the numbers on that. Rivera with the pitch, and outside, Fullerton goes chasing on something that he thought he would have liked. Turns out it wasn't something that he probably should have swung at, and now down 1-2 in the count. Peterson today is 1 for 4. Does have 1 strikeout. And was hit by a pitch. Rivera from the stretch goes back right where he got Fullerton to chase last time. Fullerton, good plate discipline to lay off it and not get fooled by it a second consecutive time. Now a 2-2 count. Again, bases are loaded. There is not an out yet in this inning, and we will have a pinch hitter here coming up after Fullerton. Fullerton, little half check swing there, just does get a piece of it, gets it back to the screen as Robert Perea, the catcher, comes out of the dugout to make sure he can get a hold of that ball, get it back over to the dugout, as all foul balls again are being asked to be returned to the dugouts today. Cut down on costs, make sure that we can provide the best region tournament we can here in all the live coverage. Rivera with the 2-2 count from the stretch gets Fullerton to swing through, and that's going to be a strikeout swinging, and now 1 out for Dodge City here, top of the 7th, trailing 5-4 with the bases loaded. As mentioned just a moment ago, we will have a pinch hitter here. Due up was Isaac Snyder, the designated hitter. That is going to change, and that will be number 32, Gavin Gifford. Head coach Phil Stevenson playing a little bit of a matchup decision here, thinking, you know what, Rivera, the right-hander, they brought him in after Stevens started the inning. So with Snyder being a right-handed batter, Coach Stevenson is going to make the call over to Gifford, the left-hand batter. Gifford last night, 2 for 5, 2 RBIs in his 31st start of the year. Swinging a pretty hot bat right now, 309 average coming into this at-bat with 30 hits. 5 of those are doubles. Does have 7 home runs, so definitely could get a hold of one here. Wind blowing right to left as Gifford takes the first pitch there for a ball. Rivera gets the sign from the catcher, and Holtgreave takes a moment there before finally deciding to throw. Inside, misses for a ball. Looked to be just inside that left-handed batter's box. Gifford not necessarily hugging that left-handed batter's box here, as this is an all-turf field outside of the pitcher's mound, so those lines are already painted in there and do not go away like they would with a dirt mound or with a dirt field. 2-0 count here to Gifford from Rivera as Rivera comes set from the stretch with the delivery. Hits the outside corner, called for a strike. First pitch of the at-bat here to Gifford. Gifford coming on in relief of Isaac Snyder as a pinch hitter today. And Dodge City has the go-ahead run at second base in Talon Schaller. Rivera with the windup and the delivery. That's going to be a high chopper. And the only play for Rivera is going to be at first. Again, one of those turf hops where you really can't do much with it but wait for it to come down. It is going to score a run. And, folks, we are tied here at Lawrence Dumont Stadium. It is a brand-new ball game. That is a key out now for the Blue Devils there. Second out of the inning. That will bring up Robert Perea. But the go-ahead run in Talon Schaller, he is just 90 feet away. The only play there for Rivera was at first base, so all the runners move up. It scores a run, brings in Gifford's third RBI of the weekend, and now Perea will step into the box. Perea 0 for 3 today. A little bit of trouble. Ground out to second base and then has a couple strikeouts. Takes first pitch there for a ball. 1-0 count is what Perea will be working with here as Rivera comes set in the delivery. Misses high for a ball. Now 2-0 count. Definitely across the plate. Home plate umpire has been consistent about his strike zone today for the most part. Not a whole lot of things that we could question here. Last night a little bit different case. But for the most part tonight, or today, this afternoon, I should say, it's been a pretty consistent and well-called game. Rivera working from the stretch, 2-0 count. Perea finds one he likes, fouls it away, out of play, off behind us here at the behind home plate. We are situated directly behind home plate. Got an absolutely perfect view. Lawrence Dumont Stadium, the home of the Wichita Wingnuts and American League Association Independent Baseball League. This facility also plays host to the National Baseball Congress World Series every year in late July. Rivera with a high pitch there, and if Holtgreave does not make that catch, that's back to the backstop. Don't necessarily think head coach Phil Stevenson would have sent Schaller with 2 outs, and Schaller not having a whole lot of speed there. So don't think any damage would have necessarily been done if Holtgreave does let that go back to the backstop. As we hit the 3 o'clock hour now, officially 2 hours into this ball game, still 75-degree day. Temperature has not changed one bit. Wind has died down just a bit, still blowing left to right. 3-1 count here for Perea. Pitch from Rivera. Inside, ball 4, and Perea will take his base, load the bases yet again for Dodge City in this inning. Cole Bergdahl, 9-hole hitter, will come up to bat. This will be the 9th batter of the inning for Dodge City. If you think back, Cade Engel, leadoff batter, led things off with a walk. That was followed up by Braden Cook, Jake Peterson, Talon Schaller, all with singles. Cook and Peterson coming around to score on Schaller's single. Dawson Tate gets hit by a pitch. And here we are now, 2 outs in the inning. We have tied the game here with a 3 spot by Dodge City in the top of the 7th. And first pitch by Rivera in for a ball. And out goes Holtgreave to talk with his pitcher. Rivera came in, inherited the bases loaded with no one out, has been able to get 2 outs, but already 16 pitches in this inning, 9 balls, 7 strikes, and they still have people up in the bullpen. Looks like from what we can see, our vantage point, they got number 25, Colton Kanagi, still up in the bullpen, 6'4", 175-pound sophomore. He is out of Gower, Missouri. Dodge City likely to make a change at the end of this inning on the pitching mound. This has been a little bit more of a lengthy inning with the 2 pitching changes. Cole Brandon was laboring a little bit, so he's going to go 6 innings, it looks like. We will give the official word on that at the end of this inning as Bergdahl takes the 1-0 count in there for a strike. Rivera comes set with the bases loaded, takes the look at runner over at third and Schaller, sends a pitch in there. Bergdahl a little bit fooled there. Wasn't sure what exactly he was looking for, but it was not the pitch he got. In there for a strike. Now a 2-2 count here. So 2 outs, 2 balls, 2 strikes in a 5-5 game, top of the 7th. And the bases are loaded. Runners are going to be moving on contact. Rivera with the delivery and gets Bergdahl to go down swinging. That's the second time today Dodge City has left the bases loaded. But nonetheless, needless to say, they are able to tie that game up at 5 now. So 3 runs on 3 hits. There were no errors. They leave 3 runners on base. We got a brand new ball game, folks. We'll give you the word on the new pitcher here heading to the bottom of the 7th. You're watching Dodge City Baseball on the Conquistador Sports Network. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Dodge City ties things up here in the top of the 7th with 3 runs after going down by a score of 5-2. Heading into the 6th, it was just a 3-2 ball game with Kansas City, Kansas on top. They're able to play 2 runs there in the 6th and take what would seem to be a pretty safe 5-2 lead, but not when Dodge City is able to bat around the order, bring 9 batters up to the plate, score 3 runs. They do leave the bases loaded, though, to end the inning. New pitcher for the Conquistadors, it will be Jeremy Hidalgo. Hidalgo making his 18th appearance this year. All 18 are out of the pen. He has a 4-1 overall record, 5.85 ERA. Hidalgo, the 6'3", 167-pound sophomore out of Colorado Springs, Colorado. He will get to face the 8-9-1 batters in the Kansas City, Kansas lineup, starting off with third baseman Brandon Green. He fouls one back to the screen, and Hidalgo officially in the book now as the pitcher, as he has thrown 1 pitch, 1 strike with the delivery inside for a ball, nearly hit Green on the foot. He's able to get out of the way, and we will have a 1-1 count here in the bottom of the 7th. Dodge City does have movement up in the bullpen. I believe that is Johnny Chavez again for the second time today, as Green fouls off yet another pitch, now a 1-2 count. Dodge City trying to work their bullpen the best they can. They know if they can find a way to scratch across a run here in the 8th or the 9th inning, you can turn it over to Dalton Harvey. He has 12 saves on the year, which is the 4th most in the NJCAA. Hidalgo there at the pitch, misses low inside, ball 2. 2-2 count now, as both teams for the next game have shown up. Looks like that game will not get started on time for those that are listening in, trying to get an idea of when that game will get underway. Typically, you're looking at about 40 minutes between games. We're sitting at 3:06. That game's scheduled to start at 4 o'clock, so unless we can get 2.5 innings in the next 15 minutes and find a winner, it's not going to happen. Hidalgo, following a foul ball there by Green, does waste another pitch. Now full count, 3-2. This will be Hidalgo's 7th pitch of the at-bat already. Green has done a good job of fouling some off, seeing everything that Hidalgo has to work with, trying to see what he can get. And Hidalgo gets him to go down swinging, and Green is not happy about it, slams his bat in frustration, and the umpire gives him a bit of a look there, as Green got the pitch he wanted, swung right through it. Hidalgo put it right on that outside half plate and got him to swing through it for out number 1. There will be a pinch hitter here for the Blue Devils. Drew Holtgren, the catcher, his day is officially done now. It appears that we are going to have pinch hitter Ty Bradshaw, 185-pound, 6-foot sophomore out of Kansas City, Missouri, coming up to bat here. So we will have to keep an eye on any potential changes that take place on the defensive side of things at the end of this inning. You know, in an elimination game, you know that you're in a tie game right now, you're getting into the later stages of this game, you got to do whatever you can to make sure that you can get that go-ahead run across, because if you don't, the other team does, your season comes to an end. Hidalgo puts first pitch in there for a strike, working with an 0-1 count here to Ty Bradshaw. And that one's going to hit Bradshaw, put the go-ahead run for Kansas City, Kansas on first. Bradshaw, probably not a player that you wanted to do that to, hitting only 184 on the year. So that's definitely a freebie given up by Jeremy Hidalgo to pinch hitter Ty Bradshaw. Into the box will step Albert Woodard for Kansas City, Kansas. He is officially 1 for 3 on the day. Had the single to start the game, struck out swinging in the third, grounded out to second base in the 5th inning, and comes up with his 4th plate appearance here. Takes ball outside, takes first pitch outside for a ball. Now 1-0 count. You got that runner on first as Hidalgo is now working from the stretch. Ball misses down low there. Now 2-0 count to Woodard. Woodard, someone that you're going to try to be careful with, hitting .372 coming into today. Does have 16 doubles and 4 triples, so he's a guy that if he can get one in the gap, he's got the speed to make something happen. As that pitch there misses again low, maybe a little inside, and it is now a 3-0 count. You figure head coach Matt Goldbeck's going to give him the take sign all the way here and not risk anything. Hidalgo misses there again for ball 4. Walks Woodard on 4 straight pitches, and might have to put a little bit bigger emphasis on getting relief pitcher Johnny Chavez up and working. He has been working now. This is the second time he's been up and moving around in that bullpen. Looks to be ready to go if needed, but head coach Phil Stevenson is going to ride Hidalgo here with 1 out in the bottom of the 7th. Into the box will step center fielder Tyler Pittman as Hidalgo with the first pitch inside for a ball. Now 5 straight pitches that have missed. Make it 6 as he hit Bradshaw and then walked Woodard on 4 straight pitches. Hidalgo misses again. Now 2-0 count to Pittman. Pittman 0 for 3 on the day, 2 flyouts and grounded into a double play. Someone that hasn't done a whole lot. You might want to just say, come on, let's go after him, let's attack him here, as Robert Perea, the catcher, is going to go out and have a little discussion with Hidalgo and say, hey, come on, just play ball here. Let's just play catch. Dodge City does have pitchers if they need them. They threw Eric Lindsay only an inning last night. JT Mossberg won an inning and 2/3. So if absolutely necessary, you could use them. You got Johnny Chavez still available, who's warming up. You got Dalton Harvey still available. There are pitchers available. That pitch right there misses low for a ball. So now 3-0 count to Pittman, and Jeremy Hidalgo is just 1 pitch away from walking the second straight batter on 4 pitches and loading the bases here with 1 out in the 7th. And he does, in fact, do that. That is ball 4. Now 9 consecutive balls thrown by Hidalgo, and head coach Phil Stevenson still sitting there saying something to head coach Michael Lonsdale, maybe having Coach Lonsdale go out and say something to him. Instead, it will be head coach Phil Stevenson. You got to figure Hidalgo's day is probably done now, as Johnny Chavez has been warming up in the bullpen for a while. He's ready to go. We'll see what head coach Phil Stevenson decides to do. That is indeed going to do it for Hidalgo. We will close the book on him at the end of this inning. In comes Johnny Chavez. We will give you his stat line here coming out of this break. You're watching DC3 Baseball on the Conquistador Sports Network. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Johnny Chavez, your new pitcher here in for Dodge City. He will inherit all three runners on base here. One out, bottom of the seventh. So Kansas City, Kansas has the go-ahead run just 90 feet away. Chavez, 4-0 in 11 appearances. Now make this his 12th. Has 3 starts, 4-0 record, and a 2.73 ERA. That leads the Dodge City baseball team. Given up so far, just 11 runs total on the year in his 26 and a third innings pitched. We'll see if he can find a way to get the Conquistadors out of this jam. He will face first baseman Alex Phillips here, left-hander, as Chavez misses high outside for a ball first pitch there. And there's nowhere to put him, and you got to make sure that you're putting some strikes in there. And at worst-case scenario, let your defense do a little bit of work for you. Phillips today, 2 for 3, does have 2 singles following a fly out in the bottom of the first. As he steps out of the box, calls time, resets things. Chavez working out of the windup with the bases loaded. No real threat for anyone to try and steal home here in a 5-5 game. Misses outside again for a ball. That is now 11 straight balls thrown by Dodge City pitchers. Chavez steps off the mound, sends a sign down to Perea, asks for him to come out. Perea figured out what he needed, got it reset. No need for a pitcher's meeting there. So Chavez gets strike there, finally gets one in as Phillips was swinging through that one, make it a 2-1 count now. And if you're Johnny Chavez, if you're Dodge City Community College Baseball, you needed that in the worst way right there. Two-one count here with Chavez on the mound. Sends one outside again, now 3-1 count. There's nowhere to put a runner. Walk's going to bring in the go-ahead run here in the bottom of the 7th. Chavez from the windup gets a pitch in there, called for a strike, makes it a full count. Pitch that definitely across the plate, might have been a little low, but home plate umpire is going to give him that call there for a strike. And it is now bases loaded, 1 out here. Full count. And Phillips just does get a piece of that pitch, sends it back to the backstop. We'll do it again here, folks. 3-2 count, bases loaded, bottom of the 7th, and we are tied at 5-5. Traffic picking up just a little bit here downtown Wichita, about 20 minutes after 3 o'clock. You got the river just to outside of right field with the highway. Chavez with the windup gets Phillips to go down swinging, and I cannot tell you just how big of an out that is right now for Johnny Chavez to come in here with the bases loaded and find a way to strike out that first batter after falling behind 3-1. Rory Combs will now step into the box, another left-handed batter. He is 1 for 3 on the day with a single. Also has a ground out to second base and a strikeout swinging. First pitch into him. Misses for a ball outside. Chavez still working from the windup, and with the delivery, gets pitch called. Looked to be a little bit outside from our vantage point. Must have broke across a little late there. If you're Dodge City, you'll take that call right now. Any way you can get it, knowing that the bases are loaded. There's 2 outs here, and if you can get out of this jam, you're staying things tied. Chavez with the delivery gets Combs to swing through that one. Now down 1-2 in the count here. Strike. So Dodge City Community College Baseball just a strike away here after falling behind 3-1 on a batter with 1 out and the bases loaded. They could very well get out of this inning unscathed. Chavez with the delivery and a little chopper. Third baseman Tate comes in, charges on it, makes a throw to first, and Talon Schaller makes the tag, following a little bit of a off throw, and Dodge City gets out of the inning. No runs. Again, no runs. There were no hits, no errors. In Kansas City, Kansas leaves the bases loaded. We are through 7 innings here at Lawrence Dumont Stadium. It is Dodge City 5, Kansas City, Kansas 5. You're watching Dodge City Baseball on the Conquistador Sports Network. We are back here, Lawrence Dumont Stadium, top of the 8th. Dodge City just escaped a bases-loaded 1-out jam as Johnny Chavez falls behind 3-1 in the count to batter Nick Phillips, finds a way to strike him out, then gets a 2-2 ground out to third baseman Dawson Tate to get out of the inning. There was a defensive change by Kansas City, Kansas to start the top of the 8th. They brought in pinch hitter Ty Bradshaw there in the bottom of the 7th. Number 33, Adam North, will replace him as catcher. Cade Engel, who led things off in the 7th when Dodge City batted around, takes first pitch there in for a strike as Rivera is still working after coming in the bottom of the 7th. Currently, Rivera sitting with just 1 inning pitched. He came in after Shea Stevens went 6+ innings, put 2 runners on. Cam Bednar came in, faced 3 batters, and was unable to get anyone out. And then Rivera had to come in and clean up the mess. Engel fouls that one away to make things 0-2 count here real quick. And is staring down, has to protect. And he gets a hold of that one. Center fielder back chasing, back, but is able to make the catch. Engel hits it to just about the deepest part of the ballpark. And there is now 1 out here in the top of the 8th.
Second baseman, Braden Cook.
Braden Cook will step into the batter's box here. Today, he is 1 for 4, 2 strikeouts, does have a single in the 7th, came around to score as part of that 3-run inning, and he gets a hold of one down the left field line, but that one's going to hook just foul. One of those situations where if he can keep it fair, the way the lines hook in here and the way the fence plays, it's only 330 down the lines, very shallow down the lines, and the way the fence hooks in, if he can get another hold of one like that with the wind blowing right to left, he could very well break this 5-5 deadlock. Cook will step back into the batter's box here, now down 0-1 following that foul ball down the third base line as Rivera stares in, working from the stretch, and gets Cook to swing through one there. Doesn't look like he got a piece of it, but it does go back to the backstop. Kansas City, Kansas Blue Devils with that new catcher, defensive replacement in Adam North. As Cook is now down 0-2 in the count. Dodge City using their 3rd pitcher of the day. Kansas City, Kansas on their 4th pitcher of the day. Winner moves on. Loser goes home and sees their season end. Cook pops that one up. First baseman has a little bit of trouble. Gets called off by his second baseman, Fortuna. And Fortuna makes the catch for out number 2.
Center fielder Jake Peterson.
That will bring up center fielder Jake Peterson. His last at-bat delivered a base hit single that scored a run. Part of that 3-run 7th inning that Dodge City batted around. Gets the left-handed batter here facing the right-handed Rivera. Peterson hitting .339 on the year now. As he takes the first pitch outside for a ball. Catcher set up outside. Ball was outside all the way. Very easy call for that home plate umpire to make as we are sitting right back behind this home plate here at Lawrence Dumont Stadium in the press box. Rivera from the stretch sends in the pitch, and Peterson fouls it away back behind us, gets out of play out into the parking lot. Kansas City, Kansas is looking to apparently ride Rivera as long as they can here. They have absolutely no movement up in the bullpen. Dodge City just now starting to get closer Dalton Harvey up and moving around in case they need him. Peterson takes ball there outside, so now 2-1 count, 2 outs here, top of the 8th, and there is no runners on. Give you a quick scoreline rundown. Dodge City 5 runs on 6 hits and 1 error. Kansas City, Kansas with 5 runs on 9 hits and 3 errors. Rivera from the stretch misses again outside for a ball. One of the storylines of this game, in a 5-5 game, you wouldn't think it would mean a whole lot, but there have been a total of 15 base runners stranded today here between the two teams. Dodge City has stranded 10, so double-digit runners stranded for the 2nd straight day. Kansas City, Kansas has stranded 5. 3-1 count here to Jake Peterson as Rivera is looking to put one in there. Gets Peterson to swing through. It'll now be a full count here, top of the 8th. 2 outs, and 3-hole batter Jake Peterson staring this one in from Blue Devil reliever Julian Rivera. Peterson just does get a hold of that one, goes back to the netting, comes back down, easy grab by the Blue Devil dugout, and pinch hitter Ty Bradshaw back in the bottom of the 7th there. He's sitting there charting pitches for the Blue Devils. as Rivera comes set with the delivery, and Peterson again gets a hold of another one. That's got to be close to the 8th pitch of the at-bat here. This will be the 8th is what I am being told here. Got redshirt pitcher Logan Andron with me, helping out, doing some of the stat work for me, so thank you to him. As Peterson comes into the box here, Rivera comes set with another 3-2 pitch, and Peterson does get caught, goes down swinging, and Dodge City is down in order in the top of the 8th. No runs, no hits, no errors, and no one left on base. Dodge City 5, Kansas City, Kansas 5. You're watching Dodge City Baseball on the Conquistador Sports Network. We are back here at historic Lawrence Dumont Stadium. We head to the bottom of the 8th. Dodge City is able to tie things up in the top of the 7th, but goes down 1-2-3 in the 8th. And relief pitcher Johnny Chavez back for his 2nd inning of work now. He inherited the bases loaded with 1 out in the bottom of the 7th. Worked a 3-1 count to Nick Phillips, Alex Phillips, the first baseman for Kansas City, Kansas, before getting out of that jam unscathed. If you don't recall, if you weren't with us back in Game 3 against Coffeyville, Chavez worked the final 3 innings of that 7-inning win, did not allow a hit, and ended up getting his first save of the year. And this is a situation where if he can find a way to get Dodge City back out of this jam, he very well could get the win if Dodge City can put a run across. First pitch in there for a strike. Chavez misses there with a ball, and we are sitting at a 1-1 count. Temperatures dipping up just a slight bit, I guess you could say. Now 77 degrees as Chavez misses down and away again. So now 2-1 count. Second straight pitch that he's missed down and away. Started the game here at 1 o'clock first pitch. It was a 75-degree day. We're now sitting at 3:30 as Chavez gets one to go to the shortstop, grounder to the shortstop Bergdahl off his glove for a base hit. And Kansas City, Kansas will put the go-ahead run on first here to start the 8th inning. That will bring Easton Fortuna up to the plate for Kansas City, Kansas. Fortuna on the day is 1 for 3, had a single in the 6th. Before that, grounded out to the shortstop and flew out to center field. Take a look at his stat line. Came into the day hitting .324 on the year, 61 hits, 9 of those are doubles, only 1 home run. Gets a hold of that one, though. That's going to be trouble in the gap. That's probably going to score a run as Engel's got to chase it down in the gap. It is indeed going to score a run, and Fortuna hops into second with a stand-up double. Kansas City, Kansas reclaims the lead at 6-5. Still no outs here in the bottom of the 8th. Dodge City is the designated road team today, as the coin flip was determined that last night. There are no outs. Kansas City, Kansas just retook the lead at 6-5 on a stand-up double by Easton Fortuna. And into the box will step Josh Schumacher. Chavez working from the stretch here, decides to step off, take a look back at Fortuna at second. You know he's got speed, was easily into second there with that stand-up double to left center. And now Robert Perea, the catcher for Dodge City, wants to go out and have a little conversation with Chavez, go over the signs one more time, figure out what the plan is here. Schumacher will step back into the box here. Left-handed batter facing the right-handed Chavez on the mound. Dodge City still with no outs. Chavez fakes a throw back there to second base. No one there covering. Bergdahl comes in just a little bit to kind of check on him, but nothing really doing. Schumacher finally does get to see a pitch from Chavez. Misses outside for a ball. 1-0 count now to Schumacher as both Kansas City, Kansas batters so far this inning have gotten on with hits. There was a single through the left side off of shortstop Cole Bergdahl's glove, and then the RBI double to give the go-ahead run as Chavez misses again outside for a ball. Now 2-0 count. You got to wonder if maybe giving up that run ate into him a little bit, and he's just not what he was there after getting out of that jam in the seventh. From the stretch, Chavez does finally get one in there for a strike. Now a 2-1 count to Schumacher. Schumacher, a 6 foot, 175-pound freshman middle infielder from Aurora, Colorado. Today he's playing left field, being used a little bit as a utility man. As he lays down a bunt. Tate's got a charge on this. Only play is at first, and the throw is not in time. Schumacher races down the line on a well-placed bunt, something that they've done twice now today, laying down bunts down that third base line, and Tate not expecting it, as Schumacher wasn't showing it before he laid it down, and Tate just does not have enough time to race in there and get that throw over to Schaller. Head coach Phil Stevenson makes his way out of the dugout. You got to think that's probably it for Johnny Chavez on the mound today. His day is done. There it is, the official word. We will get you the pitching change here when we come back. You're watching Dodge City Baseball on the Conquistador Sports Network. We are back here at Lawrence Dumont Stadium. Set the scene for you as Dodge City has just now made a pitching change as Dalton Harvey makes his way to the mound, gets his warm-up pitches in as Harvey is 2-1 on the year, 22 appearances. This will be his 23rd. Has 11 saves and a 3.51 ERA. Chavez is responsible for the runners on first and third with one out. Brandon Green steps into the box. That is a pinch hitter, number 15, Zach Mahoney, in replacement for Brandon Green, the third baseman. He takes pitch upstairs for a ball, swings through pitch number 2 there for a strike. Mahoney coming into this at bat, he is hitting 241 on the year, started 16 games with 13 hits and only 2 extra base hits. Mahoney swings through that one again. Now 1-2 count to let's see here. He is indeed a sophomore, Kansas City, Kansas native. Harvey trying to get the Conks out of the jam as that's going to be a base hit up the middle. That's going to score a run, and that's going to move Schumacher from first to third on that base hit. Goes right up the middle towards Peterson, and now Kansas City, Kansas has a 2-run lead at 7-5. Catcher Adam North coming up to the plate. He was a defensive replacement in the top of the 8th after pinch hitter in the bottom of the 7th. This will be his first official at-bat today. And he pops one straight up to Harvey at the mound. So 1 pitch, 1 out for Dalton Harvey there now. There is now 1 out in the inning as all the damage so far has been done with no outs. And that will bring up shortstop Albert Woodard. Woodard 1 for 3 on the day, walked in his last at-bat in the 7th inning. Part of that part of that 7th inning that Dodge City was able to escape. Takes pitch there for a ball. 1-0 count here to Woodard in the bottom of the 8th. Again, Kansas City, Kansas leads 7-5. Pitch in there for a called strike by Harvey now. 1-1 count to Woodard. Woodard, a 6-foot, 160-pound sophomore from Nashville, Tennessee. Harvey misses low outside there. Now 2-1 count to the sophomore. There is a base open with 1 out, but you don't want to necessarily do that knowing that you're already down 2, and this game very well could get out of hand being that it is an elimination game. Harvey puts one in there. Appeared as though Woodard was taken all the way there. So we will be working with a 2-2 count, 7-5 game. Dodge City trailing by 2 down to their final 3 outs when they do finally come back up to bat. Harvey working from the stretch, gets a grounder to shortstop. 6-4-3 inning-ending double play. What you needed if you're Dodge City. Unfortunately, you do give up those 2 runs. Those 2 runs come on 4 hits. There were no errors. Kansas City, Kansas has 1 stranded. We head to the top of the 9th. Dodge City's going to need 2 to extend this one. Kansas City, Kansas 7, Dodge City 5. You're watching Conquistador Baseball on the DC3 Sports Network. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, here at Lawrence Dumont Stadium. 3:45 in the afternoon on a 75-degree day. We head to the top of the ninth. Dodge City's going to need 2 to extend this game here after giving up 2 runs in the bottom of the 8th. As Julian Rivera back out for another inning of work, currently sitting at 2 innings thrown, has not given up any runs, any hits for that matter, has just walked 1 batter and has 3 strikeouts. He will face the meat of the Dodge City lineup in Talon Schaller, Dawson Tate, and Richard Fullerton. Schaller in the box, takes first pitch swinging, up over the press box, out of play, now down 0-1 in the count. Dodge City today has stranded 10 runners, stranded 12 yesterday, so 22 through the 2 games now. And if you're head coach Phil Stevenson and you wonder how it's possible that you could go 0-2 at a region baseball tournament like this, and there's your answer right there. Look no further. Rivera with the 0-1 count, sends one in there, catches the inside corner for a strike, and now Talon Schaller down 0-2 in the count is going to have to find a way to protect. Rivera with the 0-2 decides to waste one, see if he can get Schaller to chase. Schaller holds off, good plate discipline there. Ball upstairs, now 1-2 count. You're still a little bit behind, got to find a way to work through this and get one that you like. Knowing that if there's anything close, you got to take at least a hack at it and try to fight yourself to live another day. And he does indeed get a hack at one, and that's going to fall in for a base hit. So Talon Schaller with a base hit, there, as that will be Talon's second base hit of the game. Now 2 for 4 after taking a walk in the top of the first. And the game-tying run in Dawson Tate will come up to the plate here with no outs in the 9th. This will be Tate's first at-bat against Rivera today. Rivera came in after Tate was hit by a pitch by, let's see who that was. That was Cam Bednar. So this will be Rivera's first chance at Tate, Tate's first chance at Rivera, however you want to look at it. Tate takes first pitch for a ball. Now 1-0 count, ahead in the count, working here. Dodge City's got to find a way to plate 2 runs. This game is running a little long for those looking for the Cowley and Neosho game. And Tate puts a hit into one, but that's going to fall right into the left fielder's glove for an out. Just a lazy fly ball out to the left fielder, and there is now 1 out. Dodge City down to their final 2 outs in this region tournament. Into the box will step Richard Fullerton, the right fielder for Dodge City. Officially 0 for 3 on the day, grounded into a double play, has 2 strikeouts, and was hit by a pitch. Takes the first pitch inside for a ball. Something Rivera's done quite a bit today in his 2 and now 1/3 innings pitched. Giving up a lot of first pitch balls, getting behind in the count, but has done a relatively good job of getting back in on these batters and fighting them off, making sure that they're staying off the base paths. Has only issued the 2 base runners now today. Talon Schaller's single here in the top of the 9th was the first hit off Rivera, and 2 innings of work, now 2 1/3, as the catcher Holtgrave goes out to talk to him before the pitch here, and it's just another pop-up by Richard Fullerton, and second baseman camps under it, makes the catch for the out, and Dodge City is just an out away from ending their season here in Wichita.
Designated hitter, Gavin Gifford.
Gavin Gifford will officially become the designated hitter now. This will be his second at-bat of the game. Came in as a pinch hitter for Isaac Snyder back in the top of the 7th when Dodge City was able to tie things up with 3 runs to make the score 5-5 at the time. As we now know, it is now 7-5. Dodge City's got to find some sort of magic somewhere, as they got to find a way to plate 2 runs here before having that third out come across. First pitch in there for a ball, so it'll be a 1-0 count as Holtgreave goes out yet again to talk with Rivera just quickly. And now Rivera working from the stretch, throws the 1-0 pitch upstairs for a ball. Gavin Gifford does have some pop in his bat, has 7 home runs on the year. Went 2 for 5 yesterday. Officially on the day, we will get you his line here as we pull up the stat sheet. Gifford officially 0 for 1 with an RBI today. So make that 3 for 6 in this tournament. Does have the 3 RBIs that he has driven in so far. With Rivera checking back the runner over and Schaller at first with the delivery. And Gifford holds off, takes a called strike. Now 2-1 count. Dodge City 2 outs here in the top of the 9th. You got to find a way to score 2. Kansas City, Kansas, they're not taking any chances. They're playing their outfield back deep. They're not letting anything get over their heads because they know that right now Schaller's run doesn't mean a whole lot, but it's the run at the plate in Gifford that would. And right as I say that, Gifford pops one up. Long run in for the left fielder who makes the catch, and that will be your final. Dodge City will see their season come to an end today. 38-19-1 overall record as they will bow out of this Central District tournament after playing 2 games and going 0-2. We want to thank everybody for tuning in this year, supporting the Conquistadors through everything that they've gone through. It's been a great season for us all. One last time, we want to give a big shout out to John Abey, the Dodge City Community College Radio Broadcasting Department, for helping us put on this broadcast today, this afternoon. Everyone back home, we wish you the best. And for the Dodge City baseball team, your final score, Kansas City, Kansas 7, Dodge City 5. We want to thank you again and have a good rest of your year. Thank you.